Alright, this is going to be an attempt at a guide for the new Hyper Slingshot skip in Oracle Seasons Dungeon 8. It's basically going to utilize the same technique used for the new Hide and Seek skip, which involves clipping into a wall by using bombs and Pegasus seeds and a jump, and then making a pretty easy bomb jump to the other side. So to start off with, just like with the other trick, you have to line up in a certain vertical position and a certain subpixel. So the vertical position you want to start with is lining up Link above the ice tile like this, just the bottom of this tile. You can easily tell if you overshoot because you can see some black pixels from Link on top of the ice if you're too low, and if you go way too low, he will just slide down on the ice like that. What you're aiming for is for him to be completely above the ice tile like this. And from here you just want to head to the screen to the right. And the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fall down the pit, because that resets Link's subpixels to 0. And it's going to be what you want to do if you mess up anything in the trick as well, like just reset your subpixels to make the manipulation work. From here, you're going to want to move to a specific horizontal position. You just want to inch into this position right here, where the right side of Link's foot is aligned with the edge of this ice part and the pit. So at this point your subpixels and position will be correct. What you want to be careful of is that if you happen to overshoot this a little and like go a little to the right, even if you go back like this, like you can see my position got messed up, my subpixels also got messed up, so if you like happen to do any movement mistakes on the screen, just fall into the pit and reset everything. It's not that big of a time loss. So once you're in position here, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to move down two increments of 3 pixels. Now this sounds a bit tricky, but it's actually very easy in practice because it is a 5-frame window to do so. You basically want to hold straight down for between 8 and 13 frames. Now you can tell if you got it just based on how far Link moves really, because if you tap too little, he like moves like 1 pixel very little. If you get it, he will move 3 pixels like that, and if you go for too long, he will move 6 pixels like that. So 3 pixels is what you're aiming for, because when you're moving on the ice, like I said, your subpixels will be affected, so it's kind of important that you do everything correctly. If you're not too confident with just letting go of down at the perfect time like that, you can also pause buffer it, and it's basically just pausing until you see that Link has moved a pixel, like this, and then you would just let go of down, and he will move the desired amount of pixels. So once you moved into the correct vertical position, and you have the correct subpixels here, this position is where you're going to want to drop the bomb, and then move down 3 more pixels using the same method. So, like that. And from here, so before you do the jump, you have to use your Pegasus seeds at some point. And that is because if you were to do the jump and the Pegasus seeds at the same time, you wouldn't actually get the speed boost from the Pegasus seeds due to the fact that we're on ice and the physics behave a bit different. You just want to use it before you jump, essentially. As for the timing for the jump, the first frame where you can jump is the second flash. On the second frame of the second flash, the second red flash that is, and the last frame where you can jump is the first frame of the third flash. This also sounds a little complicated, but it's actually as much as a 12-frame window, which is quite big. What I just like doing is that I like buffering until I see 2 red flashes, and then buffering it just a little more, so that it goes to the black part again of the animation. When you're at like 2.5 flashes, basically, like this, it's impossible to really have the wrong frame or anything, since every frame in this part of the animation will work for the jump. So that's a useful visual cue. But anyways, once you get to this part, what you basically want to do is you want to buffer down right and jump out of this menu. Now you need to let go of jump in time before the double jump from the Rockscape happens. But you want to keep holding down right until you actually get stuck in the wall. So, if you did that correctly, you'll get stuck in the wall like this. And from here, it's just a simple bomb jump to the other side, which you perform by simply pulling a bomb, tossing when it explodes. This is also a very big frame window. I believe it's like 18 or so. But then just buffer jump and hold, or buffer right and hold Rockscape, and you'll make it over to the other side like this. You can press the button for good measure if you want. And yeah, that's basically how you pull it off.